A new multimodal local Gemma 4 by Google has just come out a few days ago, and today I'm going to be trying to answer a question whether you can get rid of your $20 subscription to either Codex or Anthropic or Copilot. I'll save you the hassle. The answer is pretty much a resounding no, but there's a caveat. Surprisingly, it has gotten really, really good. As I mentioned, it's probably not going to replace something like Opus 4.6 anytime soon. I mean, we're talking about a 31 billion parameter model versus a state-of-the-art frontier model hosted by Anthropic in their data centers. Our locally Gemma cannot really compete with that. There is a blog post on Hugging Face which outlines pretty much all of the new features that come with Gemma 4. It outlines all of the different sizes. Today we're going to be using the Gemma 4 26 billion A4B. This is a mixture of experts model with 4 billion parameters activated at once. There is an even bigger, 31 billion parameter dense model, but that was pushing my system limits, so I'm just going to stick with this one. I have LM Studio set up here. As you'll notice, Gemma 4 26B A4B is loaded up here. This is the 8-bit quantized version, and for development we're going to be using VS Code with Cline or Cline. I have created a new folder, called it Pong Gemma, and we're going to kick this into plan mode and write up a prompt. Here it is. Build a simple game of Pong where the player competes against CPU. Use Node to implement this. Game should start when npm start is run and serve on localhost 3000. There should be a selection of easy, medium, hard modes, and the ball movement should not be tied to the frame rate. Please consider these scenarios and plan the implementation. Here we kick it off, and then we see that the model is processing the prompt. It is going to start generating tokens soon. Here it is. We can see generation here, and we notice that the model has started thinking. Now it's writing the plan that it came up with. It has created itself some tasks. Up above, we can see how much context of the model is being used up. And we're going to kick it into act mode and watch the implementation happen. So seems like it created a package JSON, and then it was going to, and I think it just ran npm install. I think we have given it enough permissions here. It's now implementing server.js to serve a simple HTML file. Here's the HTML file. So far, super simple. It's imported game.js. Now it's writing some styles. Somehow this reminds me of the GPT 3.5 days when I would just be watching a chat window scroll whilst code was generating line by line, and I would just copy paste that straight into my text editor. We have gone so far. We have actually gone so far since then. This is all running locally, by the way. Like, this is madness. Yes, I know. I'm not giving it the most difficult task in the world. This isn't building some sort of an enterprise grade software. Like I said previously, I don't think you could beat Opus 4.5 or maybe Codex 5.4, GPT 5.4. But it depends on what your use case is, because this is actually pretty brilliant, especially that you know that nothing's leaving your computer. All of this is on your hardware. None of this is being sent anywhere for processing. This is fully local, completely private. And here it seems to have finished the game, and it's even run npm start for us. So let's click the link. I'm not sure what we're going to find on the other end, but let's see. Oh, here's Pong. Select difficulty, easy, medium, hard. Let's go for easy. It's following my mouse. Okay. I guess I didn't really specify whether I want it to be controlled by WASD or the mouse. I guess I had an expectation that it's gonna be WASD, but I mean, this is okay. And I lost one. I've never really played Pong properly. Like, I really don't know how to play it. I know you're supposed to kind of juke your opponent, like hit it with a corner or something, but it's working. It's doing something. Let's restart. Let's go hard. Let's see what that does. The ball is still moving. Kind of slow, hit it with the corner. I don't think it's really doing what it's supposed to be doing when it hits the corner. Yeah, let's go back to Gemma and request some changes. Yeah, so I sent in a simple prompt just now saying pretty much that it works, but it doesn't seem to be following the Pong conventions of when you hit the side of the paddle, ball changing direction. So we will see what this is going to come up with. It's saying that we need to refine some math, and he's saying that It's going to be calculate the offset of the paddle center. Okay, that's good so far. Map the offset value. This allows the players to aim the ball by hitting it with the edge of the paddle. Okay, that's good. The game is running again. Let's refresh and hit medium. Let's see what happens. So if I hit it with the side, okay, I think this is actually more like it. Okay, right. I think that's more like it. So I think you're supposed to, you're supposed to be able to aim it if you hit it with a corner like this. I think there's also supposed to be some movement when you're like hitting it when you're moving. But so far so good. I mean, here you go. We've pretty much made Pong with a locally running Gemma 4. And this genuinely surprises me. The fact that we have this type of intelligence boxed and locally accessible on our own hardware is amazing. What I will do is ask Codex to evaluate this implementation. Here I'm sending in a prompt pretty much asking to evaluate this implementation of Pong. A smaller local LLM did it. And I'm aiming to understand what it did good and what it did bad. Present your findings. And here you go. The findings are rolling in. So Codex is saying that the AI difficulty is only partially implemented. The code computes a difficulty based on target CPU Y using error margin, but never actually uses it. And the CPU still follows ball Y directly instead. That means easy, medium, hard. Most differ by paddle speed, not by tracking quality as intent. Okay, interesting. Paddle collision checks only test the ball center against the paddle height. Okay, that's yeah, fair enough. The game is hard-coded to specific. Yep, wall bounce is reverse, but the ball is not moved back inside the bounds after impact. And there are signs of unfinished cleanup. Interesting. I do wonder, actually, if we just came back to Gemma and said, analyze the code that you wrote. Yeah, and I pretty much just gave it a prompt asking to point out any issues that it has found. So let's see. I think I also kind of borked it by quitting this and then switching to plan mode. So I'm not even sure whether it has received this prompt. Doesn't even seem like it. Let's rewrite it. Can you analyze your own code and present me some findings with potential issues that you may have left in there? Also, I think we should probably tell it to do it in the plan mode, although I'm not entirely sure whether that's gonna make much of a difference here. Okay, so Gemma has just come back with findings saying that there's a collision tunneling. The current collision detection uses simple AABB, and then it might tunnel through a paddle. Okay. Although I added code to prevent sticking extreme angles. Okay, fair enough. Predictability. The CPU AI is quite deterministic. Moving towards the ball's current Y position. Okay. Introduce a react. So fair. Okay. Technical debt, performance and scalability. Interesting. So I don't think it's really mentioned the bugs that Codex has found. Is there any unused code that you have left that potentially makes the CPU not really beatable? Just going to send it like this. So once you call it out, it is actually recognizing this issue. Interesting. I just pulled up Claude Code and asked pretty much the same thing. So yeah, it's found that the player paddle bounce angle is inverted. Okay, interesting. CPU error margins compute. Yep, so it's pretty much calling out the same findings that Codex did. Wall collisions don't climb ball position, no wall speed cap, no wind condition. Yeah, so fair enough. Gotta give it to this little model. It's honestly implemented something that looks okay, plays okay, with a bit of iterating and probably asking it to try and go through and kind of find its own errors and then maybe spotting some errors. You can iteratively create a game that would feel pretty good. Especially, I would imagine, if you run this implementation and then clear out the context and then run it again against some very small kind of targeted queries, such as here we were asking about the CPU, the computer player. And honestly, I think we could come up with multiple categories of things to test across this game and then just give it all to Gemma and then see what comes back. What do you think? How did you find its performance if you tried it? And if not, are you going to be giving it a shot? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.